Thank you to my patrons. Your generosity and commitment to my work is astonishing. I sincerely appreciate it. If you'd like to see your name in the credits and gain access to a plethora of other perks, bonuses, and extras, please consider becoming a patron today. Simply click the link in the description below. Thank you.
I think you're simply deciding at the end of the day to say that any truths that led us down a path where we suffered unnecessarily or died weren't true.
Right. If our knowledge of Darwin, of the evolutionary process was true, then it wouldn't be fatal. Now that's a strange claim, and I'm not sure that it's true, but I think it might be.
This is just ridiculous to me, and it's just another reason why I don't trust Jordan Peterson as an academic or a thinker.
Take the risk of thinking for yourself. Much more happiness, truth, beauty, and wisdom will come to you that way. Thank you.
The third reason I struggle to trust Jordan Peterson as an intellectual is that he defines truth in a bizarre and peculiar manner. He defines truth according to utility. This became very clear when Jordan Peterson sat down for a podcast with neuroscientist and philosopher Sam Harris. During this debate, the pair discussed what it means for something to be true, and they got stuck. This is a rather excruciating and painful conversation to listen to, as Sam attempts to hold Peterson's feet to the fire on his definition of truth. And what we hear is revelatory.
I think you're simply deciding at the end of the day to say that any truths that led us down a path where we suffered unnecessarily or died weren't true.
Right. You have to choose what you mean by true. You have to. And I'm not accepting the same definition of truth that you operate under, and it's partly because I believe that Darwin trumps realism, let's say. I believe that pragmatism trumps realism.
But even the truth of Darwinism is not anchored to a Darwinian conception, in your view, of truth. It's anchored to a realistic one. So Darwinism will not prove to be false if knowing about Darwinism gets us all killed. That's entailed in your claim. Darwinism would bite its own tail there and disappear.
So I guess the only way I can respond to what you said is that I would say that if our knowledge of Darwin, of the evolutionary process was true, then it wouldn't be fatal. Now that's a strange claim, and I'm not sure that it's true, but I think it might be.
If someone says that your wife is cheating on you, presumably that's within the realm of possibility, provided that you have a wife. That's a claim that has absolutely nothing to do with whether or not you wind up killing yourself based on your reaction to this unhappy truth. If you then wound up killing yourself, we could say at the end of the day, well, it would be better if he hadn't known that. It would certainly be better if she hadn't done that. It would have been better if he had married a different woman. Surely we would want to say that.
It might be better if he would have paid attention to his damn marriage and to attribute the cause of his demise to the existence of the photographs. This is why I brought up Josh Green, is that investigations into this kind of morality always frame it in such a way that...
Jordan, you have to grant one thing here. There's one piece that doesn't get moved here. You cannot move the piece that because you killed yourself, it's not true that she was having an affair. That move is not open to you, and yet you're acting like it is.
I won't recapitulate Sam's entire response here because he does an amazing job of holding Peterson's feet to the fire on his conception of truth. Clearly, if your spouse cheats on you and your discovery of this unpleasant fact leads you to self-deletion, it wouldn't therefore follow that it's not true. This is the problem with Peterson's conception of truth. For me, truth is that which comports with reality, so-called correspondence theory. Apples exist. Why do I think that's true? because we can examine the world and we can discover apples. I can take you to an orchard. I can show you an apple tree. You can eat apples. You can eat apple pie. You can drink apple juice and so forth. Apples exist because the claim apples exist comports with reality. That is the most reasonable conception of truth, in my view. I'm perfectly aware for the philosophers who are watching that there are different definitions of truth, and Peterson's definition is one such definition, a pragmatic definition of truth. But this pragmatic definition that Peterson is offering leads to absurdity. It leads you to the conclusion whereby you must admit that it wasn't true that your spouse cheated on you because it resulted in your demise. Because truth is that which confers a survival advantage and falsehood is that which doesn't. And because this cheating led to your demise, therefore it must not be true. Again, this is absurd. If you want to define truth that way, dear listener, I'm not a prescriptivist. You are more than welcome to do so. So long as you clarify that that's the definition of truth that you're using, we can perhaps have a conversation, although it would be very difficult. So I just want to make that clear before we proceed. I'm not a prescriptivist. Peterson is welcome to define truth however the hell he likes. However, I am also welcome to find that definition to be absurd. And Sam's pushback here sheds light on the absurdity that it produces.
You cannot move the piece that because you killed yourself, it's not true that she was having an affair. That move is not open to you, and yet you're acting like it is.
This is just ridiculous to me, and it's a reason, just another reason why I don't trust Jordan Peterson as an academic or a thinker. Just consider, for example, and by way of analogy, the Father Christmas and or Santa Claus mythology. How many parents around the world have derived utility from telling this narrative to their children? How many children have behaved because they were told that Santa Claus can see them when they're sleeping and knows when they're awake? How many children have been told that if they don't behave, they'll receive a lump of coal in their Christmas stocking, and so forth? It is undeniable that this narrative has conferred behavioral utility for parents all around the world vis-a-vis keeping their children in line. It seems to me, and if I'm not mistaken, Jordan Peterson, as a result of this utility, would have to conclude that Santa Claus mythology is true, because truth is that which is useful. I submit to you, dear listener, that this is preposterous. Suffice to say, I do not trust Jordan Peterson when he starts speaking about what's true, because his definition of truth is absurd to me. And with that said, we're going to move on to the final problem I have with Jordan Peterson. Hey everybody, Magic Skeptic here. And if you enjoyed this clip, please consider checking out the full episode right here. Alternatively, and if you're in the mood for something else, why not check out this episode right here? Either way, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. All the best. Bye-bye.